as rightly said by you, beneficiation is going to be a game changer. And it's the industry's demand that the export of low-grade iron ore should not happen, and that grade can be beneficiated and can be consumed in the country. Moving forward, I'd like to address issues regarding scrap procurement. With many countries focusing on green initiatives and reducing scrap exports, availability of high quality scrap is expected to become a huge challenge. So the next question is to Mr. Shekharji, and how prepared is the Indian steel industry to address this issue, and what strategies are being implemented to secure a reliable supply of good quality scrap?
Good afternoon, everyone. He has given me a very tough question because the scrap is a very scarce commodity as of now. Every country is going for decarbonization. They want to restrict the scrap further than their domestic use. So already India is shortage of scrap. India is producing around 42 million tons scrap they consume, whereas at this moment, out of 140 million ton of crude production, 42 million ton is the scrap generation in India. Out of consumption is the 42 million ton, 30 million ton is the generation. So 10 to 12 million ton is the, still there is a gap. Last year, India imported around 10 million ton. Now this year they are coming down to maybe this year figure would be around 6 to 7 million ton only. Because every country is using the scrap for their own domestic purposes. So the question remains same, from where this, if we go for 300 million tons, from where we get the scraps. If you take the figure from 140 million ton, the scrap consumption is 8%. So if 300 million ton we are trying to achieve by 2030, sorry. So the scrap consumption would be around 24 million ton. From where you will get? So we have to see, in my opinion, the scrap should be national scrap policy, and the vehicle scrap policy is must for India. Otherwise, we wouldn't get the scrap as India demanded for 300 million tons. So we have to see the scrappage policy should be implemented immediately without any further delay, because it will another take 2-3 years to streamline the things, and steel makers should invest in the technology for the upgradation of scrap processing unit in India. Though this is an unorganized sector in India, so they have to come forward for their raw material, like they are moving around for the iron ore and coal. They have to move around for the scrap all over the world and domestically also. Basically, at the moment, we are importing from US, Europe, and Middle East. So in importing, the problem is the logistic. Sometimes the geopolitical situation hinders the import, like the shipping line, what has happened in the Red Sea area, Ukraine war. So these things are there, which you have to see. If one area is affected, you can channelize to different area. So you should not depend on one area or one country. And so you have to plan accordingly that you mix with this all the areas where you can get the scrap of high quality scraps. So the vehicle scrap policy is the key to Indian scraps. Otherwise, import will be very difficult, because already we are at a deficit, and it is going to be a challenge, because every country, like 2026 CBM will be applied in Europe, which is major exporting country. Around 26 million ton they export. So what will be happen after 2026, that is to be seen.
Thank you for the answer.